morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round one of the V8 Supercars DownUnder series here, presented by Chequered Simsports. My name is David Buckley, and I'll be the main commentator today. Joining me, running the live stream and also just chipping in where he can, is my good friend Matt Sanderson. Say hello, Matt.
Yeah, hi guys, good to be here, and as Dave says, V8 Supercar Championship once again returning for 2022 and kicking off at Sydney Motorsport Park. It's going to be a night sprint race for this particular round, so yeah, looking forward to it and seeing what these guys can do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you said, we're at Sydney Motorsport Park. For the Australians in the chat, you'll notice we are not Australian. So this is a little bit of a new one for me, but looking into it, finished in around 1990. First event held there was a Group A touring car race, which was the Nissan Sippy 500. So, interesting little facts there. We're racing on the Gardner circuit today, and you join us halfway. Just 5 minutes into qualifying. We have on pole at the moment Wayne Walker, who is the defending champion, returning. As I said, that he's just been beaten to the pole by Craig Broadbent. V8 Supercars. If you're Australian, you know what a V8 Supercar is. I don't think we need to go into too much detail here, but 650 brake horsepower, V8 engines. Approximately 300 kilometers an hour in top speed, 3.4 seconds 0 to 100 times as well. They are beasts, and I think we can safely say they are proper drivers' cars. No assist to help you along. It's all just pure power to the rear wheels. Technically a touring car, which I think is is just stretching the definition slightly, but I love them. They are fantastic. Let's run through the order quickly as we are just 5 minutes into qualifying. As I Craig Broadbent currently on pole with a 1 minute 23.556. Then we got the reigning champion Wayne Walker for Walker Racing in second place with 1 minute 23.8. Daniel Opadesano, if I've said that correctly, is in third position currently with a 124.057. And then fourth is Chris McLennan in the Noble Host Racing car, 1 minute 24.935. And then fifth place is Thomas Foster in the Clean Skim Racing car. He is currently sat in fifth with a 1 minute 25.022. So, 10 minutes to go in the session. It's going to be quite a fairly interesting race. We've got a night race, as Matt pointed out earlier. Chance of rain later in the race as well, which could really throw a spanner in the works, especially with trying to control these very powerful machines in such weather. Let's see if we can ride on board with someone setting a lap. We can show you around the track if possible, we'll see how these drivers are coping with the conditions. So coming down the start-finish straight here, first corner is very fast, only a little bit of a blend of the brake and possibly a downshift, and whoa, big crash there. What on earth happened? Not sure who that was, but we carry on. Second corner, quite a tight, long left-hander coming through some undulation changes as well. Very fast right-hander as well, really testing the grip on the tyres, braking down the hill and then uphill again through the apex of the next corner, flinging it through and then braking straight away into, once again, another fast flowing left-hander, using all the curves on the exit, down this straight here and then braking again straight through these corners. It's a very fast flowing circuit, go under the bridge and then immediately braking into, once again, another fast left-hander as we fly through. So we're going towards the third sector now. One of the slower corners on the track here, right-hander straight down and then full chat once again going uphill towards the final couple of corners on the circuit. Use all the runoff you can, coming around the final corner, turn 11, and then onto the start-finish straight, using all of that curve once again. I believe that's allowed under the rules because everyone seems to be doing it, and that is a lap of Sydney Motorsport Park. Not the most insightful of laps, I will admit, but thank you, Thomas Foster, for letting us drive on board your car there. The Clean Skim Racing, nicer livery they've got on the car. Wayne Walker back on pole, 1 minute 23.179. So he is flying at the moment. He's back in the pits though. See if Craig Broadbent can respond. He's gone back to the pit, so he'll be looking to come back out when he can.
Sorry, Dave, just touching on the curves, I believe that going wide across the yellow stripes I think they're allowed to have their tyres on the very limit. That is, if all 4 tyres go outside that, across that yellow line, which of course is track limits, then I think it is deleted. But they are allowed to have pretty much 90% of the car beyond that, I believe.
Well, there we go. We'll have to keep an eye on that then, because from my limited testing I did myself, just driving these cars around, it's very easy to get the car over that line, especially when you get on the power. These cars are fantastic fun to drive, by the way. So if you get the chance to, then definitely give some of these cars a go. Look at the Noble Host car there, just coming through the first corner. I'm not sure where the best overtaking spot's going to be. Definitely turn 2 is going to be, it's one of the heavier braking zones, so that's definitely going to be an opportunity. Turn 8 as well, which is another hairpin heavy braking zone. That's going to be, whoa, it's one of the cars. Not sure entirely who that was. But just qualifying, so he can just go back to the pits and get back out on the circuit.
I think just going back to where we can have overtakes, I think what's going to be crucial here is getting the speed down early. There's a lot of deep diving, long braking zones followed by quite considerable straights. So I think we're going to see a lot of people trying to make sure that they go slow in, fast out, and that's going to be where you're going to see people catapulting to get past in those positions.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on the final corner, that's the longest straight on the circuit. You are going to need to get a slingshot off that corner to have a chance into turn 2. You might see a couple of people dive it down the inside of turn 1 if they're feeling extremely brave. That's going to have to be a very high commitment to move. So we'll see if that pays off.
Yeah, Craig Broadbent now just starting extra lap in his Racetech V8, so he's got at least 0.2 seconds to find in order to take the front row of Wayne Walker, but let's see if he can do that.
Yeah, it's quite a gap that the cars are starting to get here. Only the top 3 cars are within the 23s. Bit of a gap to Chris McLaren in the 4th, but it's only about 4/10 he needs to find to get back into the fight with these guys. Lap time's pretty close across the board. It's only a few tenths at most between most of the drivers, so it looks like we've got a pretty competitive field here. It looks like Craig just having maybe some latency issues there, or it could be us. As I said,
I think it's probably us, considering we're in the UK and they're in Australia. I think that may be the gist of it.
It could possibly be. He did abandon a lap though, so maybe he had just a small off there, just ruining his lap. But he's definitely got the time to go back out, and as he say that, off he goes. Yeah, let's. There's fairly substantial group. We've got 27 cars here. I'm not sure how that relates to the real life V8 Supercar series. I know that they are running this series effectively alongside, aren't they? The real life championship, it mirrors the actual series. Yeah, we'll it'd be nice to see what kind of times these guys are pulling versus what the real life pros are doing. But yeah. Not sure, like people to watch this season. Obviously, Wayne Walker, he is the defending champion. He's going to want to stake his claim and take home the championship again. He's going to want a good start this evening as well. But yeah, we've got some strong competition from everybody else. Craig Broadbent, Daniel Patisano there as well. But yeah, I think everyone's got pretty.
He's just gone faster as well, Dave. Just there with a 1:23.175. So
yes, he has.
Craig Broadbent tried to respond. He was closing in on his fastest lap, but Walker just responding and extending that once again back to 0.2 seconds.
Absolutely. Now, Craig Broadbent looks like he is getting set up for a lap here. He's dropped back from the car ahead. I probably would have hoped he'd be a little bit close because he'd want to get some of that slipstream, especially down the start-finish straight, but he just want to get held up on the lap, though. There's not many places, as we've said, to get round, so having someone slower than you in front of you on your qualifying lap is really going to ruin everything. But busy track at the moment as well. All but 2 cars currently on the track and setting laps. most people people are set is about 9 laps. The top 3 cars are all set 9 laps now, so there's 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the session. So there's still about enough time to complete, I think, one more flying lap after this one. So drivers are running out of time. There's not that much time that Craig and Daniel need to find to get back with Wayne Walker at the top.
Oh, he's got a bit wide just on board with his flying lap there, so I'm not sure if that's going to be allowed or not. Of course, we're still learning the rules, so if you are an experienced DownUnder Series watcher, then we're going to try and catch up as best we can, so we're all on the same page. But as far as I'm aware, again, just mentioning those yellow lines, if you go wide of those, I think it invalidates the lap. But it could be on a certain corner, if I misread, not too sure. But he's gone purple in sector 2, that's 33.3, so but sector 1 was green at 26.091, my apologies. So he's got a bit of he's backed out of it now because he knows that he's gone wide again at the sector 3, unfortunately, so that's not going to do any good.
He's got a lot of traffic ahead of him as well. That probably wouldn't have helped. He's going to finish the lap anyway. What's that going to be? I'm not sure if that's actually counted as lap time because he did go wide. Oh, he did improve 0.004 of a second off Wayne Walker. If he gets out now, he might just have enough time, but that's going to be close. I don't think he's going to give it a go.
1 minute 24 left.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get there in time. No, definitely. Oh, Oppitisano goes on pole there. 1 minute 23.090. Where did that come from? So Wayne Walker's got it all to do now. Is he on a lap? He is. Let's see. Is he? What's this kind of lap times going here? I'm not entirely sure. Is he on a lap at the moment? He's got just about enough time to think complete. Yeah, Wayne Walker.
He's just gone through sector 1. It's 26.9 or 090, so it wasn't purple for sector 1. He's green in sector 2, 1/10 faster than Daniel. He's currently sitting on pole, so if he brings it together in sector 3, we could be having Wayne Walker back on pole position again.
Top 3 all within 1/10 of one another. As Wayne Walker comes across the line shortly, we'll see if he can improve. He's got time for one more lap as well. So what's he going to do? He's going to continue. He's going back on pole by just under 1/10, 1 minute 22.993, and that's going to be him for the session as he pulls off the road. So it's not going to be Oppitisano who can ruin the party. I don't think Broadbent's going to be able to respond as I just lose him on my screen. But that is the end of the qualifying session. Broadbent. Was Craig Broadbent on a lap? I'm not entirely sure. He comes across the line. He isn't improving, I don't believe. So that is your top 3 and your top 4, I think, all set as well. So Wayne Walker taking pole, 1 minute 22.993, the only car in the field to get into the 22s. Then we've got Daniel Oppitisano in the clean skin racing car in second place with a 1 minute 23.090. Then Craig Broadbent in the Race Tech Steel Racing car in third position at 1 minute 23.180. Dean Godgy in the Game of Fuel Motivation Motorsport car sat in fourth place, 1 minute 24.008. And then fifth position, we've got Chris McLennan in the Noble Host Racing car, 1 minute 24.054.
Yeah, that was a great qualifying. Seeing those 3 all vie for that front position in such a short period of time, it's just 1 for 1. And then Daniel coming in at the end of the qualifying, just out of nowhere. It seemed to be an exchange between Craig and Wayne. But just amazing lap by Daniel to split the two of them at the very end there.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a lap from Wayne Walker, the only car into the 22s. Just as it mattered, 20 seconds from the end of the session, just puts it straight in there. So I think we're going to have a quick kind of warm-up session now, possibly see if we can get the top 3 cars in for a quick interview from qualifying, see how their sessions went. But yeah, as we just run through the grid there, fairly close between everyone. There's a bit of a discrepancy towards the back of the field, obviously, but we'll see how they can improve come the race starts. But yeah, 5 minutes warm-up session now, just to get ready for the race, just people to put race fuel back in the cars. And yeah, as the night starts to draw in as well, with the before the race comes up.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen until we get over to the race session itself. That's what R Factor 2 does. It's a bit strange, R Factor 2. I don't think you can set the time for qualifying. It's always pretty much going to be midday or prime weather. But then when you go over to the race session, then it kind of says, "Oh, we're going to race at night now," you know. So it's a bit strange in that sense. But yeah, congratulations to Wayne Walker and for securing. He was obviously come into the series trying to defend his championship, of course, winner from last year, as you've already mentioned. Let's see if we can actually get him into the room and have a little chat, perhaps, and just gauge his feelings or emotions, knowing that he's already on top at this early stage.
So as Matt goes off to try and gather them up, expectations of the race from qualifying, and the top three, they're going to be very close and fighting there. It'll be up to the rest of the field to basically keep up and try and pick up any pieces if there's any issues that do happen. Standing start, I believe, for these cars as well, so getting a good start will be vital. And yeah, just trying to gauge your position when you go into the race is going to be very important. As we've mentioned, there's not many overtaking opportunities on this circuit. A lot of fast corners that have pretty much one line through there, so having a position when you do get into the rhythm is going to be very important.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm not able to drag people down to have a chat with them, so obviously some technical issues, teething issues as we call them, teething issues at the start of the series. It's always going to happen, isn't it? Nothing's ever going to go correct the first time, but I'm sure Wayne's going to be very happy with that. Of course, it's worth mentioning as well that it is a fixed series. No free setups allowed, so they can't change the suspension or the toe-in angle, the tyres. Nothing is available to them. We know that they're all running the soft compound today, so we're expecting to see some fast times as we already have, which will mean that obviously may be interesting when that rain, if it does arrive. I know it's going to be latter in the race, the latter end of the race, but whether or not it hits them before we get to the checkered flag is yet to be seen, of course. But all the more, being a fixed series, that just displays, the pace of those top three compared to the rest of the grid. These things are not easy to drive. To find an extra 0.9 seconds over a lot of the other guys in the top 10, that is impressive.
Absolutely. One thing to look out for as well is, I believe, a 40-minute race we've got today. So tyre wear, especially on the soft tyres, is going to come into play towards the end of the race. Obviously, that could be changed by the rain, should that come as well. So these guys, we've seen they are quick on fresh tyres, low fuel, but race pace is an entirely different beast. So let's see if they can kind of use that power and use the speed that they do have throughout the race. If they've got good race pace as well, it could be that some of the other drivers are able to manage the race a little bit better than qualifying. So it's all to be seen coming into round one.
Yeah, just while we've got a moment as well, Dave, if we couldn't mind going through the schedule, because of course, new season or new year, we've got a few changes to the calendar going forward into 2022. As far as I'm aware, they've tried to follow the real life series as much as possible. Of course, starting here at Sydney Night Sprint, but you've got the Tasmanian Sprint. On the 20th of March will be the next round, and they've actually got different lengths, which I found really interesting. I didn't know this about the V8 series, but you've got a few sprint races, which we're seeing here tonight, and also endurance races such as Bathurst 1000. You've got the Gold Coast Enduro, Newcastle Enduro, and that's going to really spice the championship up. How are they going to handle the fatigue? These sprint races are taxing enough at 45 minutes in these V8 cars. How's that going to change the outcome of the championship when you've got a longer race to deal with, and again factoring in tyre wear and such as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Endurance racing is a completely different beast to the sprint racing, as we both know very well. As someone, I think, just on my side runs over a curb quite viciously. But But yeah, it takes an entirely different approach when it comes to endurance racing over sprint racing. You've got to have the kind of mental endurance and also some of the physical endurance, especially driving such physical cars like these, to get to the end of the race, to get to the end of your stint as well. So especially when it comes to things like Bathurst as well, that is a tough track to get around in one piece, especially after 1,000 miles. So adds a fantastic kind of dynamic to the championship, which could see different people start to thrive. But we've just come to the end of the warm-up session now, so people can be finishing their laps, and then we'll move into the race session where we'll see all the light go. It'll make our jobs a lot more difficult to see who it is, and we'll get started with the first race of this evening.
Of course, this is the moment where those nerves start to set in. This is a good opportunity for the drivers to gauge where they stand. Of course, but as mentioned already, it's going to be a fixed setup. That's a different change from last year. They might not agree with how the car feels. How they're going to manage the tyres. Some people might prefer more camber for a more aggressive approach to the race, whereas now they don't have that ability to change that to suit them. So this is, although it's an important round for them in terms of, okay, I need to make an early statement, so to speak, in some way or another. It's also worth mentioning in that people are going to be saying, okay, where's the competition at? What do I need to do to improve going forward into the rest of the championship?
Yeah, absolutely. You need to learn how to drive the car rather than set the car up around you. So people who can adapt quicker to the conditions and to the car are going to suit this round a lot, suit this championship very well. But as we line up people on the grid, you can see the light is leaving us, and the headlights on these cars go on. So adds another. Hope they've done some nighttime practice. These guys. It adds an even further dynamic to the racing. At night time, the visibility is less. You need to pick out your braking zones that you can see in darkness. I don't think it's going to be as bad here. Looks like the track's fairly well lit up, which is going to be a godsend for the drivers. But you do need to cope with the lower temperatures, the reduced visibility as well, and also the dazzling effect of all these headlights in your mirror, especially with Wayne Walker. He's at the front of the grid. He's going to have 26 pairs of headlights shining directly in his eyes through the mirrors. So he's going to have a lot of work to do.
I think
second in
what's
place.
going to be important for Wayne now is just to focus on the road ahead. Make sure that he masters the first few corners, stays out of trouble. Of course, he's going to have a lot of traffic coming up behind him, as you mentioned. So he's got to make sure he doesn't brake too early, doesn't want to get caught up in any incidents. And I think we're just getting to go racing, Dave.
Yep, we are. Looks like we're just about to get underway here. The lights go on, the revs rise. Creeping forward from Albertisano there, but they should be okay. And we are underway. A good start there from Wayne Walker. He's managed to get away well. Albertisano following behind as well. Craig Broadbent has a pretty terrible start there as he's going down the field. Dean Godji gets into third position. Someone off in the background there. Yeah, looks like that was Thomas Foster possibly. He's gone right to the back and he is just recovering now. Looks like he's okay to continue. Walker charging away from the rest of the field here. He's got about half a second gap going into the second sector. Further down the field, we have everyone falling into line and starting to just kind of settle in and gauge their positions. A little bit of side by side further down, it looks like as well. I think we had Billy Ebenheiser there going side by side, but they've managed to sort it all out now. Wayne Walker is extending that gap even more. He's at 0.7 of a second now ahead of Albertisano. So starting to command the race very nicely here.
Yeah, just mentioning a few position changes. We've got Steve Dunn made up 6 positions on the start, so a really good result for him on this one. A few losers. Foster, as you mentioned already, down 14 positions.
Side by side, just
as well.
Sorry, just a button there. It's side by side between Mad Anhika and Craig Broadbent going through the penultimate corner. They've managed to sort themselves out, and Craig Broadbent's come out on top. He's in 5th position, so not the best start from Craig there. A little bit just behind Ashley Kutchie going side by side on Hayden Dara there. Is he going to try and dive it on the inside turn 1? No, he's going to back out. That's not a good place to overtake. It looks like that, but he's going to try and get a decent run coming into turn 2. He's not going to be close enough to make the move, though, so that is still 8th place for him for now. Oh, as that was Antika there going wide. He's now got Hayden Dara all over his rear wing and along. It's going to be his advantage coming into the next corner. They're side by side again as well. Ooh, that was actually just managing to squeeze himself into that gap. Side by side still coming through this next corner, and that's going to be Hayden ahead coming out of that hairpin and into 6th position. So Antika there having some problems. Billy Ebenheiser there as well, managing to make some moves. And oh, there's a little bit of a half spin just behind Ashley Kutchi, managing to gather it. Oh, and there's someone spun around. That is, who is that? That is, I think John Wade has had some issues there. Adi Zathia as well has had a spin. They are back underway and really far down the field now. 26th position for them.
Yeah, a lot of damage to John Wade's front bumper there, so that's been completely torn off. So not a great start for him. Seemed to be on a good run as the tyres were warming up, but just a bit too much right foot maybe, perhaps?
Yeah, possibly. Maybe a little bit of checking up as well. I know the cars ahead were fighting, so not entirely sure what happened. Back to the front of the field, though. Wayne Walker is just storming away. 1.2 seconds he has ahead of Obadisano now. So he is commanding this race to start with. The top 5 all kind of within about 5 seconds of each other and are just taking it a bit easy. Mark Young getting overtaken there. He's now into 9th place. So that was Billy Ebenheiser there making another position up. So a lot of fighting going on in the midfield, or the upper midfield here, as he's going to try and fight back on the Javison eSports car.
There's a lot of overtakes. I mean, I'm struggling to keep up with what's going on, to be honest. I mean, there's, as predicted, you know, it's a sprint race. Everyone's going to try and make a mark and move up and down the order as best they can. You know, just looking at the timing and the distance between them, we've got 0.5 seconds pretty much all over the grid. So good stuff to see, and you know, cars going back and forth up the order.
Looks like Madan Hika there in the Cyclopath Racing Academy car. He is trying to close in once again on Hayden Adara, who got around him on the last lap. He's about half a second back. He's going to have some slipstream coming down the start-finish straight, so we'll see if he can close in coming into turn 2.
And I think I see a wiper going, Dave. I think it might actually be raining, and it's not rendering in on game for myself at least. But someone's got their wipers going. I mean, nobody else is actually clearing their windscreen, so maybe you just clicked a button and can't turn it off again.
Yeah, I've had that happen
before. So I was like, oh, wipers going. I was like, I can't see any rain, so yeah, must be one of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've done that before. I've been fighting with somebody. I've knocked a button on my wheel, and then wipers gone on, brake bias has changed. So who knows what's happened? Let's have a look if we've got any further fights going down the field. In the kind of lower kind of midfield, looking at 20th position, everyone's fairly close here. Gigi Isan, if I'm saying that correctly, is fighting with Bradley Martin and also Thomas Foster as well. As Foster is looking to contact ahead. That was Bradley Martin making contact with Liam Tyler-Williams coming into the left-hand there. He's going to be side by side once again. He's got his wipers on as well, so maybe there is a bit of rain coming down that we just can't see. And that's a big moment. He made contact there with Tyler-Williams. There's going to be a bit of rear suspension damage, I would imagine, on that KTW Motorsport car. But they are back underway once again, back into 20th position. So looks like they're all right to continue. There's definitely going to be a little bit of damage there. That was quite a hefty hit. But yeah, that was a very weird twitch. It looks like there's definitely some water down the track because it looked like he just got off the line slightly and the rear just lit up. So I think the weather is starting to come down a bit now.
There's so much power in these V8 supercars. I mean, we don't have anything like it in Europe. I mean, you know, the chassis and the build that they've got. So especially when the rain starts to come down on these soft compound tyres that they're using for this particular race, you've got to be so careful. I mean, again, with the camera angle that we had, we don't know if he had a bit of a assistance in that spin, but as you say, it looked like it was mostly unassisted. And then, of course, once you spin out in this track, it's all high-speed corners for the most part. and that means just high consequences. As soon as you start spinning out, you're just a passenger. There's not much else they can do.
Yeah, I don't think that it's possible to have a small crash around this circuit, especially with all the grass on the outside. Just as we were talking there, it looks like Ashley Kutcher and Mark Young have been battling, but they've managed to put it to bed for the time being. I saw Craig Broadbent look like he was he went down a position, but it looks like he might actually be having some connection issues as he's blinking all around the place for me. Back to the front, Wayne Walker still continuing to dominate this race. He has pulled out another half second or so on Opedisano behind, and Opedisano himself as well has put quite the gap on Dean Godji as well. It's about 2.5 seconds between him and the Game of Fuel Motivation car. Chris McLennan is close to Dean Godji though. He is closing in that Noble Host car. Fantastic livery they got. I do love a good purple race car. But yeah, definitely rain coming down. Everyone's got the wipers on. Looks like the grip is going as well. It's going to come to a point where they decide, is it worth going on to the wets? Who's going to blink first?
Yeah, Wayne Walker just in a league of his own, so to speak, in some ways. I mean, we've only covered a few minutes in this race, still in the very early stages, and already 3.5 seconds against the rest of the competition. It has to be said as well that Daniel's doing a very good job on himself to hold on that second place. He's got 3 seconds to third place as well, so it won't be long, I don't think, until we start seeing some lap cars. Of course, we had a bit of a shenanigan, so to speak, in the lower end of the grid, so we could see some traffic. In fact, I think Wayne's just coming up on the back end of one of them as we speak.
Yeah, it looks like unfortunately we've had one DNF. It's Rizal Aberrahman. I do apologise if I've butchered that name, but yeah, in the Cyclathy Racing Academy car, he has unfortunately DNF'd on lap 3. So that's one car we've had lost. Interestingly, Craig Broadbent down at the back of the field. I'm not sure what's happened to him. He's somehow lost a lap entirely. So definitely having some connection issues, I think, because he is really down there and he's just blinking all over the place. So really unfortunate after he put in such a good show in qualifying that he is not able to capitalise on that. Further down the field as well, Mark Young in a Peanut Racing car. He is close to Billy Ebenheiser there. About half a second between those two cars. Looking to try and set a move up for later in that possibly is Mark. Deep on the brakes, is just about going to manage to hit that apex, but I found with this track it's very difficult to kind of get your braking zone right. It seems like you come over a blind crest and a sunny and apex in front of you. It's a fantastic circuit to try and learn, especially in these cars. But everyone's doing a fantastic job to keep it on the road at the moment, especially in these changing conditions. But yeah, the question remains is, when do you change to wets? Or even if you do change to wets, is it going to be worth it?
I don't think it's an option for these guys. I mean,
big moment there. Oh, behind as well, actually again.
Yeah, he's going a bit sideways. Nice save though. He's kept it on the grey stuff, so he can continue. He's got Sean coming up behind him in P10, so he could lose a position, but we'll see.
Oh, there's been a big crash at the back of the field. John Slow is just come out the barriers. He's lost his rear wing. Looks like he's had some contact with Alex Daly, possibly. But that is quite the heavily damaged car. It's got, I think, a little bit of crabbing going on, and it's got no rear wing. So the happily average racing car, not so happily driving around at the moment without the rear wing. Just managing to keep it out of the wall, it seems.
I don't think maybe he knows that he's lost that rear wing. He kind of committed to that corner, and the car just obviously hasn't got any rear downforce. So
I think he's now realised.
Yes, I think that might have given him a bit of a wake-up call. But he's staying out, amazingly. He's staying out on track. This is going to be interesting for Turn 1. I think if he doesn't know, he's going to know now.
He goes into Turn 1. No, absolutely not. There was no chance that was sticking. So he should definitely know now. That's looking very much like a NASCAR these days, is the Ford Mustang. So he's going to rejoin the track. Looks like John Wade's still continuing without his front splitter, so he's probably going to be suffering with some heavy understeer as well.
Yeah, it's just...
Steve Dunn stopped as well on the exit of Turn 1. He's just stationary, so I'm not entirely sure what's happened to him. Just kind of sitting on in the gravel trap, so that'd be a local yellow that people need to look out for there, but he is well off the racing line. So unless someone makes a huge error, then he should be okay, just to kind of do what he needs to do and get the car back underway.
Yeah,
But
I mean, he's parked it in a safe spot. There's if anyone hits him, I'm sure he can't claim off the insurance that he was at fault. You know, it's you can't make it safer than that in the massive gravel trap. So he's done the right thing there. We've got a fight for P3 on our hands with Dean Goddy, and you've got Chris McLennan right behind, and Craig Broadbent in the fight in the mix as well, all within 1 second of one another.
yeah, it's getting very tight between these three cars. That seems to be one of the closest fights we've got on here. Mark Young and Mad Anhika as well are continuing their battle, but we'll keep with this one for the time being. As Chris McLellan there, I think he was just fending off a laggy lunge from Craig Broadbent, but everyone seems to be absolutely fine. There's a little bit of headlight flashing going on from Dean Godgy there, so I think there's some distraction tactics. Oh,
Yeah,
there's just a lap car getting out of the way. So good stuff from the lapped monster car there, just getting out of the way, making sure not to affect the racing too much. But yeah, the cars do not look stable through these fast sections, do they?
Not at all, no.
The weather is definitely starting to have an effect, especially with Dean Godgy going quite wide there, coming into the final corner.
Yeah, on board with Chris now, coming down the start-finish line. He's actually lost a bit of ground on the exit of that final corner, gap up to at least 0.5 seconds. So, Dean able to escape for the time being.
A car coming out of the pits as well, so they'll have to keep out of the way on the exit. Big lunge in the brakes. He's closed up a little bit in the braking zone, has Chris there. He's right on the back of Dean, but just squirrely on the exit, not able to get the power down that he wanted to from I'm guessing the water on the racing line. Yeah,
Broadbent behind, twitching left and right as he came down into that corner. He was just all over the place as he tried to reapply the power. And of course, what's important for Chris now, of course, if he decides to make a move or commit to an overtake for third place, he's got to be wary of Craig trying to, sneak up from the background. Or where is Craig gone? He's just disappeared.
Yeah, it looks like he's having some connection issues once again. I think he's pulled off the road, possibly. Yeah, he stopped on the side of the road. I think that's going to be his race over. He did make a bit of contact, I think, with John Wade there, just some laggy contact. So hopefully John's not got too much damage from that. But I think that might possibly be, that's definitely the end of Craig Broadbent's race. Just not got the connection to race safely.
Yeah,
so good on him for getting out of the way.
Because he had a really rough start to the race, fighting all the way back into P5, where he was, and in the position to fight for P3. That is a shame.
Yeah, especially after a strong qualifying effort. But hopefully he can get these issues sorted, come back for race 2. But moving on, Chris McLennan has managed to get past Dean Godgy. Oh, it's pitting. Dean Godgy's pitting. So is he going to put the wet tyres on?
I'm just on board with Mark Young at the moment with Peanut Racing. He's currently in P6 at the moment and hunting down Madder for 5th place. So only 1.1 second between these two. He's looking slightly down the inside, and there's actually a car coming out the pit lane, the 17 on the inside. He's actually rubbing sidewalls at the moment. He's able to get past because he's got the inside for the next corner, but that was a close call there.
Yeah, Ebenheiser's looking to keep the car on the track. Good save, Billy. That was fantastic. But yeah, he's coming under pressure from Billy Ebenheiser. Now it's Mark Young as well. This is a three-way fight for the top 5 positions. Madan Hika doing a good job to hold off the charge from Mark Young. Is he going to look towards the inside here? He's not quite going to be alongside enough. Coming through the left-hander, goes over the crest, and then, look at that! That was Billy Ebenheiser looking to make a dive, but late defensive maneuver from Mark Young there. This is fantastic racing between the 3 cars.
Really aggressive stuff, in a good way, so to speak. Just knows that if he lets Billy through, then he's going to have a hard time getting back in that position to fight for P5 again. Trying to force an error on the car ahead as well, moving left and right. The switchback here comes. A bit of a sideways moment. Nice catch there from the 999. What an amazing save as we come down into the final corner. Will Billy now have an opportunity to overtake, though?
I take it back. These are definitely touring cars with this kind of racing. This is fantastic stuff. But yeah, Billy Ebenheiser is going to look to capitalise on the loss of momentum from Madan Hika. Going through turn 1, not going to be close enough. But yeah, I think that save was very much helped by Mark Young as he made his way through right on the back of the car under the rear wing. There was Ebenheiser there. Not be close enough, but and he gets another sideways moment, goes wide on the apex, manages to gather it back up, and he has just about held on to that position for the time being. And this is just letting Mark Young just drive away. He's going to be licking his lips with anticipation here as he just drives off into the distance away from these two as they continue their battle. Looks like about 7 or so seconds back is Billy's teammate, Kresna Kurniawan. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. In the other Javasim esports car, but not a threat for the time being. Ebenheiser is looking to make further moves. He's pressuring there. He's going to try and look at the inside. Not close enough. Very wide of the apex there goes Mada and Hika as well. Yeah, not quite going to be close enough this time by. He's going to possibly look to sell through turn 2 coming on to the next lap. So, not entirely sure if the tyres start to go off after a few laps, but Dean Goggi came to the pits, and it's still on the soft tyres, so I'm not entirely sure if he's got tyre wear or if he had some maybe an issue or some damage he needs to fix, but he is right down the order now, is Dean Goggi in 11th position in the Game of Fuel motivation car.
Big commitment from Billy there coming out of the first corner. You just missed that. He went and used every inch of the curb available there, trying to make sure that he doesn't lose ground to P6, but managed to hold on to it. I thought he was going to go wide for a second there, and of course with the rain, if you touch that grass, then it's goodbye. You know, he's going to get dragged off the racetrack, but nicely held there. He obviously knew exactly how much speed he needed to carry that through.
Using all of that curb once again. That curb's going to get a lot more treacherous the more it rains. So, got a lot of commitment for the time being, but not sure how much commitment they'll be able to hold on to. But a bit of lap traffic ahead now. It's going to hold Mada and Hika up a little bit, as that's one of the monster cars just ahead. I think he's just let them both through there. But that's let Billy Ebenheiser get right under the rear wing once again.
Moment there for 10th place, Dean Goggi. Lap traffic situation again. That green Mustang just tried to go around the outside, just couldn't slow down in time and went slightly wide. That's allowed P11 Thomas Foster to kind of reattach himself to the back end, 0.8 seconds, so he's now within the slipstream once more.
Speaking of slipstream, back to Billy Ebenheiser as well. He is right on the rear wing once again of Mada and Hika. He's going to try and make a move into turn 2. He's got the inside line. Is he going to dive under the brakes? He's alongside, and there's contact, and they both do a half spin. A full spin there for Mada and Hika. That's going to be looked at by the race director, I think. I'm not entirely sure if Billy Ebenheiser would have got that stopped. It was a very late move, but unfortunate. Mada and Hika is able to continue, though. There'll be a little bit of damage, so it's quite a substantial hit, but everyone should be okay to continue. But I won't be surprised if the stewards have a little bit of a job to do to look at that one.
I thought he was going to put it off for a long time there. It was, classic move down the inside. Both cars slowing down where it looked sufficiently. Of course, always carry that risk being on the soft compound tyres, in this rain. And another contact for Mada as well. So Psychopath E-Racing Academy having a really bad time of it. He just had a side swipe from one of the cars trying to go down the inside of the next few corners, and that's going to be even more damage that he's got to contend with to get to the end.
It's been quite a messy lap for poor Mada and Hika there. He's able to continue though. Moving on, just as you were talking there, Billy Ebenheiser as well, getting on the west off. It's sideways again. Looks like he possibly might have a bit of damage. Is he coming into the pits? Yes, he is. So does he have some damage to attend to, or is he changing tyres? There's another car following you. That's Dean Goggi as well. So I wonder what's going on here.
You've got Thomas Foster coming in as well. So a lot of tyre changes going on here.
Is this the moment people jump onto the wets, possibly? Because this is a lot of people coming in.
Well, it's the halfway point of the race as well. It's worth mentioning because we've got 18 minutes remaining. So, being soft compound tyres, I expect them to go off very quickly here at Sydney Motorsport Park. Of course, it's all high-speed corners. you know, carrying a tonnage of, you know, in terms of speed before getting into the braking zones, especially going through turn 1. So that front right-hand side of the car is going to be completely destroyed, if not shredded, in halfway point.
Absolutely, I did forget about the soft tyres. That's a very good point. So Mark Young, the first out of those cars to come out, he's in 11th position. Dean Goggy is continuing, he's fighting back up the field, is fighting Sean Stafford, has also got Gigi Isan behind him as well. They are battling for 5th position at the moment. It's just catch Dean Goggy going a little bit wide. He's managed to gather it up now and is continuing his charge. Going down the inside. That's a fantastically optimistic move. Is he going to get that pulled off coming into the braking zone? That's not really much of a braking zone. Braking immediately into the next corner. He's closed the door and he's gone very wide. He might have to get that position back. No, that's Sean Stafford just conceding defeat there, it seems. That was a very optimistic and full send manoeuvre from Dean Goggy there. He's looking to make up some positions that he may have lost earlier with his earlier pit stop. But yeah, that does lead.
So he's now under pressure from P7 as he comes down into turn 1 as well. So the 37 looking to do battle and kind of apply more pressure so that he can lose 2 positions as he comes across the start-finish line. So Stafford under pressure in that last lap there.
Yeah, he's gone wide as well. He's just let Gigi Isan through. So looks like he might be having some issues with the tyres, it seems. I'm not sure if he has pitted yet, so he's going to be really struggling as Chris McLennan comes through as well, just dives it down the inside, very opportunistic, and it's just through. Yeah, Sean Stafford is definitely struggling with his tyres at this point.
Yeah, sure. You think he's maybe got an issue that he's trying to monitor and nurse the car home, because there's a lot of a speed loss in that car. You know, he's lost 3 positions in the last lap and a half, so that is a massive difference in pace. And even going through now, he's not even staying on the back end of that group now. He's actually falling way off. So yeah, I think maybe a problem there for Stafford.
Yeah, possibly some issues there. The side-by-side ahead as well. Chris McLennan looking down the inside of Isan there. Not able to make that move stick. That's not really a good opportunity for an overtake, but going to look to get a better run through the double left-hander here. Onto the start-finish straight. Looks like the Isan's coming into the pit lane this lap. Yes, he does. So that is 6th position for Chris McLennan. Just worth noting as well, Wayne Walker has pitted from 1st position. He's come out in 2nd. Daniel Opedisano has not yet pitted, so this will be a vital lap for Opedisano here to make up some time and possibly close the gap on Wayne Walker. But unused tyres, that's going to be quite tricky to do.
Yeah, of course, the rain, you can see it now on screen in certain light, depending on what, you know, if we get some trackside lighting, you can see the rain definitely coming down now. So this is going to be a big task for those deciding to stay out on the soft compounds. It's just not going to work anymore. There's nowhere to hide. You know, there's so much power in these things that you just got to play it sensible, especially with 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Opedisano in the pit lane now as well. He from 1st position. He did have a little bit of a rough pit entry. I think he slowed down a bit too much. He put the limiter on very early, so he's going to lose a little bit of time there. Wayne Walker coming through the final corner now, so he's definitely going to take 1st position back from Opedisano, but we'll see what the gap is coming when they both come out of the pits. Dean Goggy back into 3rd position as well. He's got some lap traffic ahead of him he has to deal with, and he's also holding off Chris McLennan behind. So this could be Opedisano here. Is he coming out the pit lane? He is. So he's going to hold on to 2nd position while these 2 cars fight for 3rd. Goggy here in the Game Fuel car going down the inside of the lap traffic into turn 1. Decisive manoeuvre, wants to get ahead, get that gap to Chris McLennan as much as he can coming into turn 2. There goes McLennan down the inside of that monster car and manages, I think, to get it stuck, and the battle continues. So not losing too much time there, does McLennan. He has been pretty decisive with that move to stick on the back of Dean Goggy.
Yeah, I think these, if you look at actually Kutchi, for example, he's made up a ton of positions. Not too sure if he's actually gone into the pits, I assume so. Because I think we'd see a lot more carnage if anyone decided to stay out on slick still. But he's actually made up a lot of ground in the chaos that's unfolded so far in this race. So, in fact, also Chris McLennan has made up a few positions since the start of his race. But it'd be interesting to see in the last few minutes that we've got, 30 minutes till we get to the checkered flag, who's going to be able to push in these tough conditions.
Bit of lap traffic ahead as well. That Team Navy car. Oh, just unfortunate placement there. They're side by side coming through. The fast right-hander coming into the final two turns. That's very wide there from Dean Godgy there. He's lost position to Chris McLennan. He's going to have the switch team very squirrely on the exit. There's a little bit of wet line, I think, developing there. He's lost a bit more time. So that is Chris McLennan using the traffic to his advantage there and managing to get up into the podium position.
Yeah, Noble Horse Racing into P3 now. Of course, he's one of the main organisers of the series, so definitely knows his stuff about the V8 Supercar series. So if anyone's watching and they want to get in on the action, then this is the man to hit up. Links down in the description if you are interested. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, Dave.
So I'm saying battle for 7th place is developing here. We've got Hayden Dara, Kresna Putra Kurinawan and Billy Ebenheiser all within a second, less than a second of each other. They're going very side by side. The two Java Sim cars, 3 wide into the turn 2. That's never going to work. Contact between the two teammates. And poor Hayden Dara there just had to bail out and just avoid the carnage.
But, I think maybe Hayden saw that one coming. He just thought the better of it. I'm going to stay as wide as possible on this corner and let these two guys fight it out. Of course, teammates going into that corner. So I thought that was a bit brazen, but clearly they've got some inter-team rivalry perhaps going on there.
There's definitely no team orders going on in the Java Sim garage. We can be sure of that one.
Yeah, it's not Mercedes F1. There's no Valtteri Bottas among these guys.
Thomas Foster has managed to get through on Hayden Dara as well. So Hayden really thrown by that mover. It looks like he's lost a lot of momentum. So he's back down into 9th position from 6th. So not a good lap for him. Thomas Foster's looking to gain some positions after the incidents he had earlier as well. I think he did have a spin, didn't he, at some point? So he's looking for some retribution, it seems, coming back through the field.
He's up by 2 positions from the starting grid, so whatever he's doing, it's certainly working. You know, sitting in P8, he's got a nice haul of points already, and within striking distance of the guys ahead, so could be up for some more points before we get to the checkered there.
Dean Godgy in the pits again, so he's back down to 5th position now, so I wonder what he's done there. He doesn't say he's on wet tyres or anything along those lines, so did he have to be a penalty, or did he have some damage he had to sort out? Because he's back down to 8th position. I noticed he did do a pit very early on in the race as well, so alternate strategy possibly, but that doesn't really make much sense when you know there's a wet race coming. So interesting manoeuvres there from Dean Godgy. He's down to 8th position now, so we'll see how he can gather that back up towards the end of the race.
Yeah, we've got a fight unfolding for 9th place between the 19 and the 999, so that's Craig Stoddard and Mada Adhika. I apologise if I've completely butchered your name there, mate. Sorry. But yeah, within 0.4 seconds now, coming into Sector 2.
Yeah, just going to try and use some of that slipstream just to pull in. I think there's a little bit of lap traffic ahead as well of Craig Stoddard, so he's going to be held up slightly there by one of the blue car there. He's getting very wide, just getting out of the way. Is the Holden Commodore of Craig. He's decided that Mada's not worth it, but now he does, and that's a little bit of time lost there for Mada and Yinka, but he's going to continue on.
Just going back to the Java Sim Esports cars up in P5. And so there's a bit of a 4-way tow going on down the main straight at the moment. 0.4 seconds between this tow, just behind Thomas Foster going down on the attack. So he's having to defend off Dean Goggy at the moment. So that
that's
orange car coming down into turn 2. So Dean Goggy on the inside line. He might have taken the position away from Thomas Foster. Thomas Foster getting very sideways. Yeah, one of the Java Sim Esports cars having trouble trying to get the power back down. Thomas Foster, they both overtake Billy on the inside, who's currently now down in P8. But yeah, so that's Dean Goggy taking another position. He's on a right roll. He's gone from he's gone all the way from 8th up to 5th in a few corners. That is incredible stuff.
Thomas Foster as well behind, trying to keep the car on the road to start with, but also take advantage of the chaos caused by Dean Godgy just coming through there. He is on the attack of Kresna there.
Yeah, Dean Godby
Yeah,
waiting for no man, was he? He was just on a. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He thought, I want to be at the front of this pack, and he thought, I'm going to do it right now. Just doesn't want to wait around at all.
It seems to me he's on a different strategy almost, because he had so much more grip than everybody else. But it looks like Billy Ebenheiser, he's falling back to Craig Stoddard as well. It's got no grip whatsoever. So maybe the rain's coming down now, really causing issues for the Java Sim cars and Billy Ebenheiser at the very least. But yeah, what a bizarre lap that was. Look at the gap that Gotti's pulled already. He's got 3 seconds nearly on the next car.
Incredible. Yeah, we're just watching Thomas Foster at the moment, Clean Skin Racing, going down into turn 1. This is P7. And
has that got you off?
Oh, he is actually.
Got you off. Yeah, he's gone wide.
So clearly a bit too much commitment coming then. So clearly, all those overtakes has gone to his head. He's God all of a sudden, but he seemed to have rejoined now without any issues, so he can continue to hold that P5. But yeah, Thomas Foster right behind P6 at the moment with the Java Sim Esports car. Looks slightly down to the inside line there in the middle of Sector 2, but not able to pull it off. No gap available for him.
Yeah, slightly a bit too much commitment going into that corner where he didn't have the overlap, but coming over the hill now, braking into the next corner, which I believe is turn 6. Yeah, it's getting spicy in the midfield here for top 5. Dean Godby is just driving it away from the rest of the field, so he's definitely got some form of tyre advantage over the other cars. But yeah, fantastic moves all around. Craig Stoddard is still kind of hanging on to the back of this kind of 4-car train here, just to pick up the pieces of anything that does happen. So he's in a good position to capitalise should they start fighting even more. Looking back at the top of the field again, Wayne Walker is just gone. He is 10.5 seconds ahead of Albertisano, so he really does have the race under control from his perspective. Albertisano then another 15 seconds ahead of Chris McLennan. So yeah, the top 2 kind of in races of their own right now. Chris McLennan as well has got quite the gap on Mark Young, so they're just driving their own races for the time being and just kind of secure the position with 6 minutes of the race to go. Back to this fight for 6th position though. Thomas Foster going a little bit wide there. Turn 2, going through turn 3 now. He's dropped back a little bit, but not out of touch just yet.
I think maybe he might be taking this opportunity to just reassess on how he wants to make that final pass before we get to the end of the race, perhaps. You know, he knows he's got the pace, he's been able to gain ground on the car ahead quite easily. So especially, we've still seen already that Java Sim Esports having some issues as well, so they have made some mistakes. So maybe Thomas Foster is thinking maybe all I need to do is wait for the opportunity, and within the next 5 minutes, just make that final move for when it counts.
Yeah, possibly gauging the track conditions as well as the rain continues to fall. Just looking for where there is grip, where there isn't grip on the slick tyres, so he can judge whether he can make these moves or not. But he's closing in once again, coming through the final corner. He's going to be well within slipstream range, so he's going to close up. There's some flashing of headlights, I think, behind as well. In the slipstream, not going to be close enough through turn 1, but that's not a good opportunity to make a move anyway. He's going to try and possibly close in into turn 2 under heavy braking. He's close, but not close enough. It's going to be one hell of a dive, and it's not going to be a dive. He's going to try and get the cutback possibly, but that's Kurniawan just parking it on the apex and continuing on. But this fight continues.
Yeah, he's just trying to force the defensive on the 56, so which he's achieving. Of course, he's actually slowing down. As you can see, he's already gained quite a lot of ground coming into this lap. Stationary car on the inside there of the final corner, it seems. So not too sure who that was. Someone's parked it, and it's off the racing line, so it's not going to cause an issue for these guys. But certainly not a good day for whoever that was. Yeah, moving back to Foster at the moment. And he's also got to be careful, as I mentioned as well. Billy is right behind him in 8th place, and of course both are on the same team, so they'll be looking to play wingman if they are able to get past Thomas at this point. And of course, with so little time left, whatever he's going to do, it's going to have to be quick and it's going to have to be concise.
Craig Stoddard behind as well, was flashing the headlights at Billy Ebenheiser just to kind of start checking his mirrors, looking behind and possibly force an error, but there's a lot closer now is Thomas Foster coming down the start-finish straight. He's only got maybe 2 or 3 laps to kind of complete this now, but through the first corner he's much closer this time. He's going to try and make the move into turn 2. He's going to look towards the inside. Yeah, the door's wide open for him, and oh, that's a big moment there for Kurinawan. Just going completely off, and that is a lot of positions he's just lost after just that small mistake. Notice the under braking, these cars can be a little bit squirrely if you get the gear changes wrong, so possibly just a bit of a locking of the rear axle, not really rev matching correctly possibly there from the Java Sim car, and he is back down into 9th position. That leaves Thomas Foster just to run away.
Yeah, there's a lot of weight in the front of these things, of course, carrying those huge V8 engines. So trying to, especially coming down into that second corner, the immense speed that you're trying to scrub off to make that apex, especially in wet conditions on top of that, is not an easy task at all. So, of course, they both tried to brake as late as possible. So Thomas Foster tried to make sure that he had the inside line. That's all he needed to do. And then, of course, Java Sim Sports and not able to slow down sufficiently.
Yeah.
You would have thought he would have had the advantage as well, considering that they're all taking that racing line. You would have thought that Foster would be at a disadvantage because you've got more water on the inside line, but yeah, it just didn't pay off.
Yeah, the door was left quite open there by Kurniawan. It was just up to Foster just to put the car there and just kind of keep it there, and he did very well. So it was a fantastic move, very well facilitated in any case. Going back to the battle for 7th position, Craig Stoddard, he was closing in on Billy Ebenheiser, but had a small mistake coming out of the final corner and has dropped back a little bit more now. So the gap up to around a second, just under. So that battle will continue. I'm sure that Craig will try and close that gap coming into the final few minutes of this race. Back up to the top of the field, Wayne Walker, once again, he is just in a field of his own. Completely clear track. All he's got to do now is just kind of cruise to the end of the race. So decisive race and a good start to his championship defence so far, to be that far ahead of everyone else. I've said that now. I hope he doesn't crash.
Yeah, you've just gone and ruined his entire day right now. You're just giving him the commentator's curse. It's always the way with our live streams, but yeah, you can't argue with the way that he's performed. Sub 1 minute to go. He'll probably get to do one more lap here before we get to the checkered, perhaps. But 10 seconds over the rest of the competition. That's in a sprint race of all things. That if anything, that just says enough about why he won last year.
Yeah, absolutely, and a fantastic livery to go along with that as well. what a brilliant kind of the pink, yellow, and black. It looks great, especially in the light. Was one of the Java Sim cars behind. So that down GGSan getting a little bit squirrely as well. Yeah, looking back to Wayne Walker, I think this is going to be the end.
The final lap. So
is this going to be the flag now, or is this one more lap?
No, that's the checkered flag. So Wayne Walker taking victory here for the opening round at Sydney Motorsport Park. Of course, still one more race to go, but that is a strong start for the defending champion.
Yeah, absolutely. Opposano coming back into a very solid second place as well. Brilliant it's just a nice controlled race from him. Chris McLennan as well coming through in 3rd position. He's just come around the final corner now in the Noble Host Racing car. So good race for him as well. Some decisive moves to get back up to the field, and he will take the final podium position. And then we have Mark Young coming in to take 4th position in the Peanut Racing car as well. And then we'll have Dean Godji as well to take 5th position as they come across the line. Come through the final corner now. And ooh, that's a very sideways monster car at the end of the race there. I think that was Brad Mays there, unfortunately. Just getting a little bit too much power around the final corner. I'm not sure if I don't think he's going to lose any position because of that. But
was a sprint to the line just as we're just looking at the results as they come through. But as I do so, there's still some racing going on between P7 and 8. I think Thomas Foster took P6, but the 37 with Billy behind the wheel taking home just ahead of Craig Stoddard. Just scraped it through.
2 hundredths of a
barely.
second, yes, between the two. So that was a fantastic finish between those. But yeah, that was fantastic start to the race. There was all sorts of action and unpredictability, and a lot of great racing from these guys as well. Everyone was very kind of well behaved and respectful of each other, and it just makes for fantastic racing. So brilliant stuff from everybody so far. But we do have another one coming up. So another 40-minute race. I think we'll have a quick kind of a warm-up / break in between the two cars, five minutes, and then we'll be back with another 40-minute race. And the grid order will be as they finished in race 1. So it'll be Wayne Walker on pole with Albert in second, Chris McLennan in third, and then Mark Young and Dean Gocci rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting to see who has learnt from their lessons, especially those that obviously didn't have such a great evening, to see if they can bring it together for the second race of this evening. Of course, it's early morning for us here in the UK, but as far as I'm aware, it's nearly 9 p.m. at night over in the Down Under, so to speak. But yeah, we're just going to enter a 5-minute warm-up phase. Fingers crossed we can actually get some interviews with Wayne Walker and the rest of the guys that succeeded in securing their first wins of the season. But we'll see what we can do. So we've just dragged down Wayne Walker. Wayne, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear.
Yeah, congratulations! What a way to open the season for you there. That you've got to be happy with that result. Just walk us through what the race was and how you're feeling right now.
Oh, that was best possible start to the season for me. Starting off with a win. The race itself, wasn't easy with it raining on and off. Just as I was about to do my pit stop, it started raining, and I wasn't sure, how much it was going to rain. So I just stuck with the softs, and it stopped raining a few minutes later. So it ended up being the right call.
Yeah, it was definitely a race of ups and downs in terms of the weather conditions. Tell us how the softs compared. It's a very high-speed circuit here at Signy Park. How did you manage the tyres, and how did that affect your pace overall?
Oh, it's just a matter of not turning the wheel too much and burning up the fronts, and the same on the throttle, just being smooth, trying not to spin the rear up. I think they lasted pretty good for the 20-minute stints.
And how did the pit stop strategy affect the race? You said already you came in as the rain started to affect. We're from the UK, so we don't really know much about the V8, so to speak. We see a few clips, but not as in depth. Do these things become a real handful in wet conditions?
It depends. Depends how much rain you get. The amount that was on the track, it wasn't enough to really affect it that much. Like, it was only really a couple of seconds a lap off normal race pace, so it wasn't wet enough to go wets yet.
And finally, thoughts going into the final race? Are you going to hope to do the same again? Do you think you can pull it off, or are you expecting anyone to put in a fight, knowing they've learnt from this round?
I'm just going to go into the second race, same as the first. It's a lot's going to depend on the weather as well. If it rains more, we'll have to stop for wets. But there's always other guys that can come up. Daniel in P2. He's always up there as well. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, we wish you the best of luck there. It was great watching you just pull away from the rest of the thing in this short-term race. But we'll place you back now, and best of luck for the next race.
Thank you.
All right, pleasure to meet you as well.
Yep, same to you.
So that was Wayne Walker, winner of race 1 here at Sydney Motorsport Park. Going to race 2, he's on pole position for race 2, and as you heard him say, it depends on what the weather's going to be in terms of strategy. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that all develops, whether there's more rain, and what the guys can do on top of that. So 45 seconds till we get to the grid now. It's just a chance for everyone to decompress from race 1 and regather their thoughts, possibly re-strategize if they didn't have the best of results in race 1. So, Matt, from a kind of racer's perspective, how would you approach this particular race now? You know what everyone's like around you, what the kind of driving conditions are like. How do you approach this race to get the best possible position?
I mean, you already know that you've either done really well. I mean, it depends on the mindset of the person, I guess, because you've either had a really bad race or you've had a really good race. So you'd probably just carry that motivation or that kind of feeling into the next race. Personally, if I had not done so well, I'd want to get my head down, make sure that I get a really nice start off the line, make sure that I just don't make any mistakes. There's a few people that will probably be in that situation, where the rain hit, wasn't the best time for them. So making sure you iron out. Remember as well that it is fixed setup compared to last year. So it's all about ironing out the issues, so to speak, making sure that you're comfortable with the car and that you can definitely maximise your options going into the next race. They've had time now in that first race to make sure they've got clean lines. If you're uncertain about anything, that last race was a perfect opportunity to make sure that you know what you're doing for the next one. So it's a fresh page. Make sure you get all your apex, hit your marks, and just about minimising those mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So getting onto the line now, it looks like the rain is still coming down, so could see some more, a little bit more strategy coming into effect here, whether the track will be enough for wet tyres. As you heard Wayne say, it depends on how much rain they get. So that's one thing to look out for now. They'll be looking at the weather, looking at the rain coming down on the windscreen, thinking, oh God, is this going to be a wet race? So who knows, mate? Is there any cars that have come out on the wet tyres? Looks like everyone's still on the soft. So everyone's confident for the time being that the track isn't wet enough for the full wet tyres.
It is. I don't think they've got wets. They can't have. I mean, why would you? It's still raining now, 100%. So why would you start a race on softs when it's definitely raining?
I don't know.
Unless there's an issue with the overlay, because it's saying softs for me as well.
Possibly. It could possibly be. It would surprise me if these cars don't have wets, considering they run on slicks normally. It could be an issue with the overlay. It could just be that the track's not that wet. Who knows? I guess I've not done enough laps on this track to know how wet it can get. So we'll see
there.
how it.
We will get there.
We'll get there eventually.
we'll learn about the series as we go along. We've tried to do some research, but you can't learn everything.
We are but stupid Brits. So.
Yeah, that's it. There's a reason you guys came independent. I say it that way. Right, here we go. Anyway, let's start the race, Dave.
Yeah, start the race, and lights go green now, and another fantastic start from Wayne Walker, but Oppisano gets an equally good start. He is alongside coming into turn 1, but it's definitely going to be Wayne's corner, although Oppisano's looking to possibly make a move down the outside. He's going to back out and look towards the inside of turn 2. Going to be a bit too far back to make the move, though. Further down the order, let's see if we've got any action. Oh, that's Mark Young going wide there through turn 2. He's going to lose a few positions there.
Battle for the lead here, Dave. Wayne Walker being forced wide into turn 1. Just a bit of a understeering moment. And Daniel trying to seize the opportunities around the outside. He's going to take the lead of the race here.
Well, that was a fantastic lunge. He's still side by side with the two, but he's going to have the inside line here. Cut back from Wayne Walker. He might have to run here. Let's see. He's definitely going to be alongside once again. He's going to have the inside line coming into the next corner. That's still Oppisano. He's managed to hold it off on the outside, coming through into turn 6 now, and is able to. Turn 7, able to hold it on into turn 8, and that's Oppisano definitely in the lead. He's managed to hold it towards the apex and is continuing on. So that is Oppisano making the most of the the start there, getting up into the lead, but that's not going to be race over yet as Wayne Walker continues to chase down. Chris McLennan, as Dean Godchie there goes a little bit wide, chasing down Chris McLennan. The rain definitely is having an effect on the circuit. Bit of flash of headlights ahead there as Wayne Walker tries to distract the leader. He's going to be deep in the slipstream now. He's going to be trying to make a move on the inside of turn 2. Through turn 1, he's had to back off slightly, but he's going to possibly try and make a run here. I don't think he's going to be close enough. It's going to have to be quite the dive. I mean, he's gone for a dive, but it's not going to be close enough, and he's just about going to miss out on getting that inside line there through turn 2. But definitely not going to be the end of this battle. This could be a race-long battle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a great start there from Daniel. Also, Chris making up 2 positions in the opening stages of this race. So a lot of lessons learned, of course, in learning the cars and making sure that they can get off the line super quick this time. And yeah, that was just that small mistake from Walker coming into that first corner that opened the door for Daniel. He sees that opportunity with both hands and is where he is now. But of course, be down to Wayne to focus and put the fight to him. He's got 37 minutes to do it.
Yeah, he's going to have pressure from Chris McLennan behind as well. The more these two fight, the more Chris is going to want to get involved as well. So, big sideways moment there from Wayne Walker as the power gets on. Manages to hold on to it though. It's a little bit of argy-bargy going in the background as well, I think, as I think some of the Java Sim cars are starting to fight with each other and the back end starts stepping out. But there's a little bit wide there from Opedisano as well, coming through the final corner. Is that going to affect his run coming down the start-finish straight? It's going to be a good run for Wayne Walker as he looks to make that move. He's deep within the stretch. He almost tucked under the rear wing of the Clean Skin Racing car.
Yeah, message on social media from Racetech Steel saying that they do have wets available, but it's not wet enough for them to be a justifiable option right now. They'll just lose too much time.
Dean Godchie making a move for 3rd position on Chris McLennan behind as well. So he's not able to make that stick, but he's still just holding around the outside. Minor contact there. They managed to hold that together. But good defensive manoeuvres there from Chris McLennan to hold onto the podium position for the time being. Back to the lead battle though. Wayne Walker is still tucked right under Opedisano's car. He's going to get a really good look at what the back of the Clean Skin car looks like. Got Ford versus Holden once again, which is, I know that much about Australian touring cars, is they do like a good Holden versus Ford battle. Everyone's got their allegiance. A bit of contact, I think, behind as well as the cars kind of check up into each other. But these two just starting to possibly build a small gap as the rest of the field from 3rd onwards have a kind of small battles of their own. Once again, Wayne Walker flashing the headlights, getting Opedisano to look in his mirrors, distract him from the racing line. He's going to get deep in the straight clean, looks to the inside, just to kind of distract possibly the Clean Skin car into making a mistake. No such mistakes are forthcoming though. And that's going to be Wayne Walker loses a little bit of time there. He's going to get a little bit more into the clutches of McLennan behind, and Dean Godchie also closing in as well.
Yeah, what you need to do right now is, if you're leading this race, especially if you're in Daniel's position, you know he's got the upper hand at that early stage, but just focus on the road ahead. Don't worry about what's happening behind you, because that's when the mistakes will start to creep in. But you know, just focus on the next apex, the next corner, that braking zone, and hopefully you might be able to put in a fight for the win here.
They're getting very close, these top 4 cars, all within about a second of each other now, and they are going hammer and tongs. You wouldn't think there's still 35 minutes just under of this race to go, as these are all battling like it is for all the riches at the very beginning, because they're all just piling in and closing into each other on the apex, and then just spreading out once the power gets down. But the tops, I think 7 cars are all fairly close to one another, and if one of these cars has an issue, then that is going to put them right down the order. But very good exit for Opedisano there. He's managed to gain a little bit of an advantage, about half a second over Wayne Walker as they come over the start-finish straight, so he's going to be a little bit clearer coming into turn 2.
Yeah, those soft compound tyres, I bet everyone's really happy to be back on those for this particular race. But, you know, there'll be big mistake there from Daniel coming down to turn 1. He's opened the door straight away. Walker goes right through, still side by side, coming into the next corner, though. So Daniel's still holding on. He's got half a door's length or half a car's length over the... Yes, he's retaken the lead. Just wipes back in front of Walker and defends that first place position.
Yeah, it looks like Walker had a little bit of a sideways moment. Well held, but it cost him that little bit of time that he needed to get the move done. Once again, getting a little bit squirrely on the exit. And in all that as well, Dean Godfrey's got past Chris McLennan as well for 3rd position, so he's moving up to look at challenging these 2 cars as well now. But the top 4, there's a lot of action going on in the top 4 here, and it's hard to keep up with it all.
There's a slight gap starting to emerge between Chris and Mark Young, so that's P4 and 5. But there's not much in it even still, and you've got this massive train of cars just coming through Sector 3 right now. It's really good to see.
Yeah, Wayne Walker really pushing the car. You can see he's just getting the opposite lock on constantly through these fast corners, drifting the back end of that car out like it's not got any downforce on it whatsoever. But coming down, start finish straight, there's a little bit more of a gap forming now between the top 2 cars. About half a second again, but Chris McLennan as well in 4th. He's going to look to get his 3rd position back from Dean Godfrey there. He's going to be closing in into turn 2, but not close enough. Oh, that's
the lead. Yeah, Daniel went wide. Saw a puff of grass as they was running down into the braking zone at turn 1. Might have been a small error from Daniel, just a bit too far over to the right-hand side, and just obviously couldn't slow down then, and that opened the door straight away. Walker went straight on through back into the lead. Yeah,
that's exactly what Walker needed there. He's able just to get his head down and just run away now. He's already pulled up about 0.6 of a second. So that is definitely not what Opedisano wanted to do there. That was a very that was a crucial moment that he didn't need to make a mistake, and unfortunately that's how it happened. So he's going to try and get back in the zone here, keep within slipstream, keep within striking distance of Wayne Walker. But that was a mistake he really didn't want to make at that point. Further down the order as well, it looks like Chris McLennan still looking to find a way past Dean Godfrey, but not able to make the move stick at this moment. We've got Mark Young and Thomas Foster as well. They're kind of sitting about a second, 9/10 of a second to a second behind each other, just keeping an eye on each other. So have a look at Chris McLennan here. He is closing in once again, but not going to be close enough to make the move this time round.
Yeah, new best lap from Walker now as he takes the lead of the race. So he just needed that clear air, you know, eliminates any understeer he was having from being behind second place, and you'll now see him start to pull away, I believe.
Yeah, I think he just needed to be patient and get that move done, and he would start to run away again, already nearly 1.5 seconds up on Opedisano. So fantastic start once again from Wayne Walker. He was able to keep his cool and continue going, but there's still a long way to go in this race. Still 13 minutes of the race to go, so anything can happen still. Looking a little bit further down the order, see if we've got any more battles developing. Everyone seems to be taking it fairly easy for the time being. Looks like everyone is kind of just getting to grips with the conditions. Window wipers have gone off, so it looks like rain is starting to ease as well.
Yeah, fingers crossed it's on its way out. We don't want any more of that stuff. Allow these guys to really hammer on the soft compound tyres. That's where the action is at. Just following 8th place at the moment with Ashley in the white Mustang for Old School Racing. All big moment there for one of the Java Sim esports car. They seem to be struggling here at Sydney Park, so a bit sideways moments for all the cars that we've seen, and now under pressure from P10, which is Hayden Darragh.
Yeah, Hayden's looking to make a move here. He's not going to be silly enough to duck it in at turn 1, but he's got a better line through turn 1. That's going to really help his run towards turn 2. He's going to look around the outside. Big defensive move from Kearney Arman there, but able to hold on to that 9th position for the time being. But yeah, the Java Sim cars, they are they have been they've been having some moments throughout this evening. So been fantastic seeing them racing, but the top Java Sim car at the moment, Billy Ebenheiser, currently in 7th position. He's a little bit of a road of his own there. bit of a ways ahead Ashley Kutcher, and about a second or so behind Mark Young as well. But yeah, back to this battle. Hayden and Darragh, they're nearly getting taken sideways off. Look at that. That was no chance of
that
getting
was a
stopped
tank
there.
slapper there for Hayden.
Yeah,
just,
unfortunately.
tried turning it in, it just snapped on him. Managed to save it, of course, from going sideways, which is the best thing for him.
Yeah, he looks like he got spooked a little bit by Kernyawan, just coming a little bit wide across the track and moving slightly, unsettled the car, and yeah, getting into the braking zone. There was no chance that was stopping. So good avoidance to get around the car without crashing into anybody, but that puts him a little bit further back, and that leaves Kernyawan there to start chasing down Ashley Kutcher in the old school racing Mustang as well.
Yeah, back to the fight for third place. We have Chris trying to go down the inside here.
That's got you very wide. And that is, yeah, it's Chris McLennan through. Yeah, it looks like Dean just got onto the wet part of the track, because it will be still be quite greasy out there. So yeah, that was unfortunate for Dean now. He's looking to kind of stay within though and continue the challenge, but yeah, if you're on the outside of a like that, especially when the conditions are changeable, that's a very big moment there from McLennan, and that's let Kutcher back through. Tell that the track currently is not dry. As soon as you get off that racing line, it looks like the grip just goes. So these are very tricky and treacherous conditions at the moment for these drivers, but really well held from Chris.
You really have to wrestle these cars to make sure that they behave themselves, especially in the changing conditions that we've got here tonight. But yeah, nice save from Chris. Stopped it from going turning into a full spin, and he would have lost a lot more positions. But stays in P4. I think he'll take that any day.
John Foster licking his lips at this opportunity as he sees these cars battling out for position and getting all sideways. He'll be hoping to gain some time. And there's Dean Kutcher coming in really early from third position. Alternate strategy, I think, for Dean there. He's it's only on lap 9, so I think he's splitting it up into 2 stops possibly, and just using the softer, the advantage on the fresh soft tyres to really push.
Either that, or maybe he's struggling on the softs and wants to go over to the wet compound. I mean, I haven't seen anyone else take that tactical decision as of yet, but or perhaps he's been flat spotting them and he's got too much vibration under braking, perhaps.
Yes, that is true. That is a feature of R-Factor 2, is the flat spotting, but I've not really seen him lock in any tyres. So he did this in the first race as well, so I'm not sure whether it's just a kind of alternate strategy he's running. It worked because he got a top 5 in the first race, but yeah, who knows? I guess only Dean knows for sure.
Yeah, we don't have the power to look in people's minds strategically, unfortunately. We're just mere commentators. But yeah, Thomas Foster staying on the heels of McLennan at the moment, so definitely in a position to fight for P3. And still 25 minutes to go, of course.
The battle for P7 is starting to heat up a bit as well. We've got 3 cars all in the fight. Ashley Kutcher, Krasna Kernyawan and Hayden Darragh as well. All within about a second of each other. And getting their elbows out, it seems. A bit wide in the entry there goes Ashley Kutcher. That's going to put him under pressure coming along the start-finish straight. Close they all are here. This could be a good opportunity for Hayden Darragh here. He's only got to focus on the car ahead. The JavaSim car has to focus on 2 cars. Look to the inside. It's a very defensive manoeuvre from the JavaSim car. That's going to really compromise his exit. And you can see that in action there. As down the outside looking to go is the treble 3 car. Not quite able to make that stick. Not enough grip on the outside of the second corner, it seems, but this is working out well for Ashley Kutcher. He's going to be willing these two to continue fighting so he can run away.
Trying to apply pressure down the inside, trying to force the door open, but it's good to see such close racing from these guys. Also, they're all in the same boat in terms of the setup, and they just know exactly where to place the car and give enough space to each other when it counts. So really nice to see in a league of this size, and especially with these cars, it's very rough, rough around the edges and a lot of power to handle.
Yeah,
and as I say, that big moment there for Ashley. He's turned it sideways coming into Sector 2. He's going to rejoin in P8, loses the position to the JavaSim Esports Holden, and Hayden Darragh not able to maximise on that opportunity, stays in P9.
Yeah, there was it was damage limitation there from Ashley. He managed to just about get it into the into that gap before it closed, but I think he's struggling with some
Yeah, he's coming
struggling
into the
with grip.
pits.
He's pitting immediately. So a little bit earlier than I think he would have liked to pit with just over the just under the halfway stage of the race. So I think he would have possibly wanted to go maybe another lap or two on those tyres, but looks like that's not going to happen.
Just shows how much you have to. Oh, big sideways moment. That's P12. Liam Tollard-Williams going very sideways into turn 1. The gravel trap slowing him down very nicely indeed. So luckily not a visit to the barrier. That would have made his day even worse. He's actually had a really strong race so far, up by 9 positions from the start. Currently sitting in P14. But that's not going to help his race. But might be looking to get some new softs. But as I was saying about the soft compounds, just goes to show how carefully you have to look after them. And we are seeing some wipers go on now, so we may be having a return of the rain.
It must really be irritating to these drivers. They've seen the rain come on and off, thinking, do I go for the wets, do I not? Especially when we're getting this close to the pit window as well, as we see Dean Godgy there making moves to get back into the top 10 after his early pit stop. He's just taken Steve Dunn, the Chequered Racing Ford Mustang, saying, as said that, Steve doing a big skid on the exit as he gets on the power. Mark Young as well, Thomas Foster coming into the pits as well to change his tyres, which is a little bit before the halfway point of the race. So that's put Mark Young into 4th position and Billy Ebenheiser just behind him into 5th. They are yet to pit though.
Thomas Foster back underway now. And so he's rejoining, it looks like, in P12. He gets his race back underway with 21 minutes remaining. So we'll see what the rest of the grid does in response. And, you know, especially Chris, who's sitting in P3 at the moment. That's his main competitor for this particular round. So is he going to come in himself, or is he going to stay out for a few more laps?
Steve Dunn had a bit of a moment there, it looks like, coming through, I think it must have been turn 4 or turn 5. Yeah, just I think he just maybe got on the grass and had a spin, but he's back underway, still in the 11th position.
Got a battle going on for P14 as well. We've got Matt Ogg and John Wade going at it. So even still further down the order, we're seeing some great battles unfold.
Yeah, that's a fantastic colour they've got on that Mustang there, isn't it? The bright green and red.
Brilliant. Yeah, I have to say the paint schemes for this series, you know, every car seems to stick out in its own way, and they're all very nicely done indeed. You know, typically when you see some of the series, you've just got like plain white cars or you know, bright colours in misshapen patterns across the car. But yeah, very nice paint schemes here at the V8 Supercar series, and all looking very nice under the track lights.
Yeah, this battle continuing here for P14. John Wade looking towards the inside as Matt Ogg gets a little bit wide. Coming down the final corner, they're going to be side by side coming down the start-finish straight. But John Wade decides that's not a good idea and gets into the slipstream. Looks towards the inside though. He's going to send it up through turn 1. He's going to make that stick. Ooh, just about. Fantastic move there from John Wade. That was very very brave to attempt that, but he's managed to get it done, and great respect from Matt Ogg to see that coming and basically not close the door on him.
Yeah, it was a nice move down into the first part of the circuit. Made it stick as well, so he's already gaining some substantial ground, up to 0.8 seconds as we speak. So firmly in control of that position now. Next car ahead will be a few more seconds, 6.4 to be exact, so he's got a bit of work to do, John Wade, to make sure that he can get up to another position, but we'll see how that goes. Another fight between Steve Dunn and Thomas Foster, so he's rejoined now. Tyres back up to temperature, it seems. and struggling to get through the final corner. He's down the inside. Thomas Foster, Steve Dunn, honk of the horn just to say how impatient he is. I didn't even know that was a thing, but Thomas Foster's either saying thank you or please get out of the way, one of the two. We don't know which. But yeah, up into P10 now. Steve Dunn was literally sideways trying to get the power down onto that back straight.
Yeah, definitely struggling with some tyre wear. It's to drag those cars. Possibly he's holding out for wets. Who knows? As Thomas Foster goes very wide into turn 2 there, has managed to gather it up. Just looking towards the front of the field, the gap that Wayne Walker's pulled, not as big as it was in race 1. 5.5 seconds at the moment. So it's still a considerable gap, but I wouldn't say that Wayne's safe by any stretch of the imagination. Opedisano really is still within striking distance if there are any issues.
Yeah, certainly, and of course you've got Chris that's just shy of another 5 seconds, so not a large margin at all. I mean, he's doing well to pull away, considering that Daniel seems to be a lot stronger this race compared to the last one. I think maybe the weather might have something to do with that, of course, with the changing conditions and whatnot. And yeah, he's just got to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes now. He's obviously took victory the first round, so he's already made his mark and said that I'm here to carry on this trend and make sure that I bring home a second trophy. But yeah, just needs to make sure that he focuses and brings it home.
Dingoji after his early pit back into P3, so that's really worked out for him. But he is going to need to make another pit stop at this rate. So no, possibly holding out for some wet weather and hoping that'll help him. But yeah, very interesting strategy, but back into a podium position for the time being. Looks like everybody who is due to have a pit stop, apart from I think Gigi Izan, has made theirs now. So we're starting to see the running order as it was before the pit stops happened, minus a couple of overtakes.
Yeah, you've got maybe 5 people just entering the pits all at once now, so it's reshuffling the order massively. So we'll see where they all resettle. I mean, you've got P8, Liam Tollard-Williams. He's made up 15 positions since the start of this race, so he's having a great time out there. But I'm not too sure how many stops he's made so far.
Judged by his lap times, I don't think he has actually made a pit stop yet, and one lap time was 1 minute 41.5, but that doesn't match up with anything around him, so I think he is still due to make a pit stop, is Liam, but he's still having a pretty good race as he is at the moment. People who aren't having a good race, unfortunately, are the 3 retirees we've had. Alan Lansdowne in the Walker Racing Mustang, he retired on...
Oh, never mind. Sorry, carry on. I thought there was going to be a battle there for 4th place as Thomas Foster tries to get back into contention again. He's found himself back where he was in 4th place, and he was about to overtake the 37 Java Sim Esports car, but they've dived into the pits.
Yeah, Wayne Walker has made his pit stop as I think one of the Psychopath e-racing academy cars had a bit of a moment there, but yeah, Wayne Walker has made his pit stop. He is into 3rd position. Dean Goji has made an early one, but he is going to be due another one, and Daniel Pisano opting to run that one extra lap. But yeah, unfortunately, 3 retirees. Alan Lansdowne, the Walker Racing Mustang, only managed 2 laps before his retirement. Bradley Martin, the Team Navy racing car, and Alex Daly in the Blacklist Motorsports car as well has retired from this race, unfortunately. Everybody else still running strong, still got quite the grid going here. Battle for 2nd place on track here as Wayne Walker closes on Dean Goji, who gets very squirrely on the exit of that corner there, coming through now into turn 4 and 5. Possibly, I'm completely lost. But I think we're at
final
the
corner coming down
final
now.
one.
Yep.
Yes, we are. So Wayne Walker looking to possibly not lose too much time here as he tries to hold on to a position. This could really work into the favour of Daniel Pisano as they come past each other on the start finish.
Going down into turn 2 now, so a bit of a wide moment there for Dean Goggy. Just wasn't able to have that exit speed that Wayne's carrying through the same corner. Already back into 1st place as Daniel comes into the pits himself.
Yeah, the gap. I think he's managed to gain a few tenths as Wayne Walker over Obedisano in the pit stop. So pretty good. It's yeah, maybe gained a couple of tenths, but not anything too major. So Albertisano's still in this, especially if they start coming across some lap traffic further into the race. But just under 14 minutes to go of the race, so getting into the closing stages now. We've got a battle for P4 going on here. Chris McLennan is looking to get past Thomas Foster in the clean skin racing car.
Yeah, so just touching on that, of course, the pit stop strategy has really paid off for Foster there. He's been fighting through the traffic, as we've already seen, and he's actually overtaken Chris, who has just served his own stop. So whatever he's done, he's been able to just get ahead on that strategy, and it's worked off for him, so he's got to play the defensive now.
Yeah, he's got still quite a bit of the race to play the defensive game, but as we've seen, it's quite difficult to find a place to overtake on this track when the car ahead is not making any errors. So that's what Foster has to do, is just have to defend where he needs to and just make sure that he doesn't make any errors as Daniel Godin comes into the pits once again. He's probably going to come out of the pits maybe 7th or 8th possibly. Look down the inside into turn 2 there. Does Chris McLennan not able to make that move stick? Not quite alongside enough, and then coming through the next complex corners up towards turn 4 and 5. Not close enough this time either, so he's going to set up, possibly look towards turn 8 if that is an opportunity. Very heavy on the brakes there. Over the hill, looks towards the inside. Is he going to try and dive it? No, he just shows the nose.
Trying to apply a lot of pressure there, you know, looking for any weaknesses in Thomas's defence.
Yeah, he's using the advantage of the fresh soft tyres really well here. He's definitely got more pace. He's able to stick with the clean skin car, but just isn't able to find a way around at the moment. Coming through turns 9 and 10 and through the final corner now. This is going to be crucial for McLennan to get right. He needs to be right on the back of Foster's car just to make sure he gets a good run into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, both cars, you can see them both counter steering into the exit, the final corner, as they try to get the power down. Of course, really important moment. Don't want to be left out with less speed down the main straight. But both entering turn 1 now. Thomas Foster committing. Oh, Chris going slightly wide. Oh, I thought he was going to go onto the grass slightly there, so obviously had to back out. That's allowed a few, maybe a tenth or two coming into the next corner, but takes it right back as Foster goes a bit wide into the second apex.
He's trying to maximise the exit coming out of turn 2 and through turn 3 there, because I noticed he was able to carry a bit of a tighter line through turn 3. Oh, look down the inside again, does McLennan. So really aggressive kind of driving here. Obviously very fair. It's fantastic racing they've got between the two cars, but he is not wanting to lose any time here. Nearly pushing him through the apex there does Chris McLennan. He's definitely got the pace, but how long will that soft tyre advantage last before he starts to lose the pace, and the kind of the pace margin kind of narrows between the two drivers? The more he fights, the less he's going to have kind of pace over the Foster ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going to be suffering from understeer because you'll have the dirty air from the car ahead. That's all going to heat up the front tyres as well, especially where we are at Motorsport Park. There's a lot of high-speed corners, so that's going to be a real problem for him if he decides to stick with him this close for so long.
And he's get the move done sooner rather than later if he wants to continue on. Fastest lap of the race from Daniel Albertisano, who's done 125.2. That's half a second quicker than Wayne Walker's managed. So he's closing. He's pushing now towards the final 10 minutes of the race. So we could see something interesting happen towards the end of the race as we continue to watch this podium battle.
Down the inside.
Down the inside. He's managed to get it done, it looks like. And yeah, fantastic move. I don't think there was really anything that Thomas Foster could have done there. He just had to leave the door open and let Chris through. So fantastic move from Chris. Very decisive to get that done. I think that's maybe 1 or 2 laps later than he would have liked it to get done. But he is back up into 3rd position nonetheless.
Well, he's not out of the fight just yet. He still has that slipstream, so if he can just settle down into a rhythm behind Chris again, start to reassess what his lines are and where he could see potential opportunities, then we could still see a battle for this 3rd place.
battle for P7 is ongoing at the moment. Dean Godgy, after making his second stop, is looking down the inside of Hayden Dara. Oh, getting very upset on the curbs there, and just has to sit back and reassess the situation. Coming into turn 8 now. Big dive, not able to get anything done. Manages to hook up the apex and get the exit. He's got quite the gap back to Ashley Kutchi, does Godgy there, so he's not going to struggle with traffic from behind as well. So he's just got to focus on getting Hayden in front. So this I think this is Dean's strategy. It's take the 2-stop and just fight your way through the field. It's a more interesting race at the very least.
Well,
but side by side,
off here, side by side, coming down the main straight now. So he's definitely got the advantage coming into the first corner. Hayden surely won't put up much of a fight, I wouldn't think. Yeah, so straight through. Just look at the speed difference carrying through the apex itself. You know, the confidence that Dean's got in that car right now. You just can't do anything to fight against that.
No, especially when tyres are so much better. It seems like the tyres make so much of a difference here. If you've got fresher tyres, you just have infinitely more pace. Look, he's done the fastest that 124.899. So fantastic moves there from Dean. He's got about 3-4 seconds to close in on the next car, which is Billy Ebenheiser in the Jarvis and Esports car. But yeah, Dean's making moves to get back up into that top 5 position that I think he wants. Looking back at the top of the field. Sorry,
we've got a 3-way fight going on with 16 through to 18 at the moment, coming down the main straight as we speak. It's like Path E-Racing Academy, and also defending against John Ways. He comes down the inside, and that white Mustang not able to open the door sufficiently. He closes it down straight away, and you've still got, of course, the 74 in 18th place as well.
Bright yellow Holden there, bringing up the rear of this little pack, and yeah, it's a very tight battle we've got going on. John Wade, I think, is a little bit further up, possibly in the first race, but still a pretty decent result he's got here around the midfield pack. The number 46 car, he's got a good run coming through here into the side left-hander. Oh, he just gets the door closed on him, and that's really compromised him. Azkal here, looking to make a move, not able to get that done, not really in a place to overtake. Up through turn 8, there's another heavy braking zone.
Yeah, not much time left, so many mistakes now could be crucial to the final standing point for these guys. Not too sure how far the points go in this particular series, but I'd imagine they'd probably be worth, you know, something going into the end of the championship in terms of overall standing. Oh, we're missing someone in the next between those two camera shots. Madder has just disappeared. He's gone wide completely in the penultimate corner and lost those 2 positions in the process. The Holden alongside right now, I don't think that is for position. I believe that's lap car. Oh no, it's actually, sorry, second place even. It's Daniel coming through the pack. So that's actually going to be a bad day for him, because of course he's now 8 seconds behind Walker, who's still leading the race. But you know, that traffic's not going to help him at all.
Yeah, that was disastrous for Daniel Opeditani. He's 9 seconds back now, so somehow he's lost 4 or 5 seconds on Wayne Walker, which is really going to take the pressure off Wayne now. But yeah, that was really unfortunate for the second place car. Looking a little bit further up once again, Dean Godgy is making a move, very, very opportunistic move on Billy Ebenheiser there. He gets his braking all wrong into turn 2 and just sideswipes him. Gives position back, but that's going to be a little bit of damage to either car there. Some door banging going on.
Well, Robbins racing and all that, you know, but clearly he knows he's got the advantage with those new tyres, so he's trying to push as much as he can to gain that position. He's got another 5 minutes just shy to make this move, so plenty of time there with the advantage that he's got.
He's certainly not hanging around though. He's really hustling at Billy Ebenheiser along here. Oh, as Ebenheiser gets very sideways coming through the exit. I think that's turn 6, but moving through it, and that's Godgy ahead.
Yeah, he's got through, so that little sideways moment just was enough to open the door, and into P6 he goes, so he's got to be happy with that. I mean, the gap now is quite large to the next car, unfortunately, 8 seconds. So that's going to be a big ask to do that in 4 minutes, you know, 2 seconds a lap. I don't think that'll be achievable personally, but who knows? These things,
Well,
I'm astounded by the racing. These things are great to watch. So if he pulls that off, I'll be gobsmacked. But we'll see.
yeah, anything can happen in these last 4 minutes, so keep an eye on the proceedings there. But yeah, the top 5 seem fairly spread out between each other, maybe like between 6 and 9 seconds between each car. So they're pretty happy with how they are sat at the moment. So if you've got any further battles going on further down the field.
You've got John Wade and the 74, the white Mustang, and the yellow Holden. They're going at it still, 0.3 seconds between these two as they come through sector 3.
Yep, through the right-hander of turn 8, I believe we are at, and then this is a fantastic little sector at the end here, coming through the fast right of turn 9 and then through 10 and 11.
It's like a much nicer version of Phillip Island, isn't it? I just really like it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. You've really got to get the exit right though, because if you get maybe the back end stepping out slightly on the exit of the corner, then that's the entire run through the start finish straight ruined for you. But that's John Wade managed to hold on for the time being. He's got maybe about half a second advantage over Fikri Azkal here. Didn't see Fikri in the first race. I'm not sure if he possibly was only joined for the second race. Maybe he didn't race in the first one, but it's quite difficult to miss that bright yellow Holden. But he's definitely not giving up. He's filling the mirrors with bright yellow, it seems, of John Wade. And but John Wade really doing his best and doing a very good job of holding him off for the time being.
You've got a few other battles starting to develop. You've got battle for P11, Liam Tyler-Williams holding off Steve Dunn, coming down the main straight, 0.2 seconds. Coming across the start finishing line. You've got 2 minutes before we get to the checkered flag, so if he's going to do anything, it has to be now.
Don't think he's been quite close enough. He didn't get the best of corners through turn 1. So that's just letting the KTW Motorsport car just drive off a little bit. Not the best of exits though for Liam there, but managed to hold on in a number 26 car. Oh, big sideways moment, well held there from Liam.
He must have known we were watching and just wanted to put on a show. That's what it is.
Some fantastic saves we've seen tonight. It's been brilliant. But that's really that's put Steve Dunn back in the fight here. He's only about half a second back now. Just needs to hold on to these next couple of corners and get back into the slipstream through the start-finish straight. Oh, but that wasn't the best of exits through turn 8 there. He's dropped back a little bit more, has Steve. Got a bit sideways in the Mustang.
Well, we surely are now coming on to the penultimate lap. I mean, Wayne Walker now coming into Sector 3, so he will be about to start the final lap here for the second time at Sydney Motorsport Park. And, the gap up to 10 seconds as it was before the checkered flag last round, so he's...
battle for P5. Dean Gottlieb going right down the inside of Mark Young. Well, that was a move that came out of nowhere, so... He said he couldn't do it, but it looks like Mark Young possibly made a mistake and has absolutely let Dean Gotchi through. So back into P5 is the Game of Fuel motivation car.
Yeah, that is really impressive stuff. I mean, making up 10, what did I say, 8 seconds, making up that time in such a short period, that is really good stuff. But he's got the position firmly in his hands now, so all he needs to do is make sure he brings it home as Wayne Walker now completes the second sector for the final lap.
Just as this goes on as well, Billy Ebenheiser is battling Mark Young as well now for 6th position. He's got the slipstream down the start-finish straight, so he's looking to the inside turn 1, not able to make a move there. But the Jarvisson car going to look towards turn 2. He's right on the back end of Mark Young there in the Peanut Racing car. Not able to be close enough. Mark just parks it in the middle of the track and blocks all kind of alleyways to make any form of inroads. So good defensive driving there from those two drivers, so it's worth keeping an eye on as the race comes to a conclusion here.
Back to Walker Racing, then coming into the final 2 corners. He's got to be happy with this evening's worth of racing. Sydney Motorsport Park taking 2 out of 2 victories. Wayne Walker, the defending champion, coming home victorious once again in the second round of the V8 Supercar Championship.
Just looking at the rain really coming down in this final lap now, but fantastic win from Wayne. The battle still going on for P6. Oh, as Mark Young gets very wide, so that's just lost him that position. Never mind, he comes back through, body slams Billy Ibenhauser out of the way, but he manages to get back on by. I think the rain's really starting to have an effect on these tyres now. Even Dean Godge is not able to get away as quickly as he'd like.
Yeah, those slicks aren't going to do anything for him. In these closing moments, he's a bit sideways coming through the final corner. He just gets the power down neatly, and a bit sideways moment, but held it on just in the nick of time and able to come across in his position. You know, Daniel in the number 4 car for Clean Skin Racing, coming home second place once again, so that is a really impressive day for him. And rounding out the podium is Chris McLennan, so for Noble Host Racing, so he's got to be happy with this afternoon as well.
Yeah, fantastic. No, solid performance again from Thomas Foster in the Clean Skin Racing car as well. So good positions for the Clean Skin Racing cars. And then Dean Godge just about hanging on to the top 5 position at the end of the race as the rain really came down. So yeah, they were fantastic races. They were really fun. Really enjoyed commentating over those. See if we can get some of the drivers from that race to come and have a chat to us before the 3 men's. But yeah, brilliant racing. There was so much action, really respectful racing between everybody. So really good community of guys and really quick drivers we've got here as well.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the results if we can to make sure we. Well, I think everyone's finished. I mean, the rain's pouring down at the moment. Wayne Walker's still doing celebratory donuts, it seems, and just having a good time out there. But if we go through the official results, and then we'll start doing some interviews for the second race. So yeah, Wayne Walker coming home victorious there, as we already mentioned, and followed closely by Daniel. He put in a really good effort to try and stay within that overtake at the start of the race, and we thought maybe for a second it was going to be a problem for Wayne to overtake, but you know, that little mistake coming into that first corner just opened the door, and then since then Wayne was able to extend that lead. Chris in the Noble Host Racing car, the number 3, comes home in 3rd place, so rounding out the podium positions for him, and then Thomas Foster for Clean Skin Racing in the 44 coming out just side. Good battle between those two for that final podium position as well. Dean Godge coming home in P5. What a last minute charge that he's had in order to claim that position. And of course the first of the Java Sim Esports car with Billy coming home in P6. Mark Young in P7 for Peanut Racing. Of course, we saw the action unfold in the final lap there for that position. And Hayden Dara for Triple Threat Sim Racing coming home in 8th. Second of the Java Sim Esports car coming home in 9th. And just rounding out the top 10 is Erebus Motorsport with Sean Stafford.
So it looks like we've got the podium finishers in with us now. So we'll start with Chris McLennan. Fantastic kind of results for you there. Some strong finishes. Congratulations on the podium. From your position, how did you find that? That looked pretty fun?
That was a tough race, and thanks very much. The threat of rain really made it difficult to decide on how you were going to tackle the race and how hard you could push. You didn't know what the next corner was going to do. Thankfully, I did have Daniel and Wayne in front of me, so I could, if I saw them go off, I knew I needed to back off. No, look, it was a really good race. This is a hard track to drive around. It's got high deg. That right front tyre gets punished around here, and it's really just a case of not letting your tyres overheat, pacing yourself, and just hoping that you've got enough tyre at the end to keep going.
Well, it was a fantastic effort to get the positions you did. Looking forward towards the rest of the championship. Does that fill you some confidence that you can get some good results later on? Maybe looking at some wins possibly.
Given this is my bogey track, the one that I don't like at all, I think it's boding quite well for the rest of the season. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm pumped.
Fantastic, that's some good fighting talk. I love it. Next up, we've got Daniel Opidisano. Apologies if I've said your name wrong for the entire evening. Yeah, some fantastic results once again. 2 second positions. You really took it to Wayne in the second race there with fantastic moves on the opening laps. Yeah, from your position, how did you find that? Was that a fun race for you as well?
Mate, you said it right. It's perfect.
Brilliant.
Mate, that was a lot of fun. The first race was more just a learning thing for me. Also, just trying to see how the race plays out. I knew if I could tuck in behind Wayne, I could save some fuel, but he's pretty quick around here, so I don't know about... I knew I couldn't get him in the first race. And the second race was all about being a little bit rude for a couple of laps just to try and make it interesting, because he had the race pace. So, yeah, had a ball. And... yeah, clean racing with Wayne as always.
Fantastic. So, looking forward to the rest of the season. What kind of tracks are you most looking forward to? Are you going to be doing a lot of the enduros? Are you going to be enjoying those, or are you more kind of focused on the sprint races?
Yeah, more so the enduros. Although we're in Tasmania next, which I think, which is round 2. That's one of my favourite tracks. It's only 4 or 5 corners in total, so that'll be good fun and that'll be real close. So I'm looking forward to that, and yeah, we'll see how the rest of the season pans out.
Fantastic! Congratulations once again. Another congratulations, Wayne Walker, 2 wins out of 2. That's pretty much a dream start for the season, isn't it? That's fantastic. So, yeah, perfect start for your title defence. Forward to the rest of the season, do you reckon you can bring some of that pace along with you towards the other rounds?
Oh, I hope so.
That's brilliant. Well, yeah, well, thank you very much, guys, for joining us. We'll let you get on. It'll be very late where you are now. But yeah, congratulations all 3 of you once again, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the rest of the rounds.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you.
Thanks so much.
So there we go. That's round 1, all done and dusted. Some fantastic racing, and kind of puts into perspective what's going to happen for the rest of the season. Matt, kind of some final thoughts from you?
Yeah, I think it's been absolutely amazing. Two opening rounds. You know, I didn't know what to expect from the V8 Supercars, but they have definitely gone up in my priority list in terms of entertainment. You know, and the wheel-to-wheel racing. We've had a few moments of contact between some of the guys, but for the most part, majority, we've seen good wheel-to-wheel racing. You know, the changing weather conditions on top really did spice things up for the guys. You know, you had to consider when they're going for the wet tyres. You know, of course, the softs go off really quickly. You know, we saw most people going for the mid-race, but, you know, with the weather conditions that they have to face today, you know, do you just stick it out and try and hope for the best and wait for the rain to arrive, or do you play it safe and, you know, take that risk and go for the softs again, but also then risk coming in for the wets later on? You know, really entertaining stuff. And Sydney Motorsport Park, fast corners, you know, big risk and big reward. Really good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I can kind of echo your thoughts there. It's been fun watching the guys just kind of figure out the conditions. It's not been the easiest of racing conditions tonight, but they've all done a fantastic job. They've given us a brilliant show. Looking towards round 2 now on March the 26th, we're at Tasmanian Sprint on Symonds Plains International Raceway. So completely different kind of track. It's a lot shorter and a lot kind of a lot more of a different challenge. So we'll definitely look forward to then. But I think unless you've got any kind of closing remarks, I think that'll be us all set for the evening.
Yeah, I'll just say that, you know, thanks for having us, guys. You know, some people have educated us about some of the series and been very helpful towards us understanding how the race is going to unfold and whatnot. I think it's just been a great evening overall, and we look forward to hosting the next few rounds.
Yeah, I will say as well, thank you very much for allowing just some clueless Brits to talk over your beloved series. But yeah, thank you very much for bearing with us and having us along for the ride. We look forward to spending the rest of the season bringing you all the action. But until next time, on the 26th of March, we'll sign off. So goodbye.